Hello and welcome to the very first game of the Battle of the Beast 2012 tournament. 3,000 point fantasy. In this first one here is going to be my Orcs and Goblins against some Wood Elves. Alright, so basically what this tournament is all about, it's the Battle of the Beasts, and it has a whole bunch of differences that you wouldn't see from other tournaments. To begin with, you can take a monster from any army as a mount for one of your characters. You just pay the points. Pretty easy stuff. So that's really neat. You can see some neat combos. Some people took advantage of it. Some people didn't. For example, my brother had like Skaven Warlord with a Fell Blade on top of a Bloodthirster and stuff like that. And really, going into this, the big one I was looking forward to use, and which you kind of see on the picture here now, is I made up this Warlord, War Boss rather, on a Stonehorn. It just, it looks like a real kind of orky thing that a War Boss would want to ride, so I want to do that. But in the end, my brother kind of really pressured me, like, come on, man, let's do a little bit more of a monster thing, because I had first tempted him into doing the whole Fell Blade on a Bloodthirster thing. So I just started putting in as many different monsters as I could. Unfortunately, my Ragnarok wasn't painted yet, but basically what my army is going to be for this entire tournament is that my general is a Orc War Boss that has the Sword of Bloodshed, Potion of Strength, and the Charm Shield, riding a Stonehorn, and so he's just pretty cool. My BSB is a Night Goblin BSB with nothing on an Ancient Stegodon, and sorry, all he has is a one-time reroll, which even though he has no armor, he's in a 2+ save Howdah, so that's pretty handy. I have a level 4 Night Goblin Shaman that's riding an Abyssal Horror, or Terror rather, and just so you know, whenever you lose combat and got one of these mix units, you crumble first, and then if there's anything still left, you apply that against the other person's leadership to make another leadership test. So, it never really comes up, but just to let you know in case you were wondering. Otherwise for characters, I have an Orc Big Boss that's riding a Wyvern. I'm going to have 2 Giants. I got my Horde of Savage Orc Biggins, my 100 Night Goblins with the Spears, and I got my Black Orcs that have the Flaming Banner. So there you go. So there's a little thing about what I have. And the way that these tournaments actually run is that both players put down 2 objectives, and then you're going to be having to put one in your deployment zone, one in no man's land, and then after that's done, you roll to see what your mission is. So in this case, I'm trying to capture one of his and also have more of my units in my deployment zone than he does at the end of the game. In order to take these objectives, it has to be a unit with at least 1 rank, or if your skirmishers 5 models, so you can't be taking it with these super monsters anyway. Taking these objectives is massive. If you get one of them, then you increase your victory points by 50%. If you get both of them, you increase it by 100%. And the whole tournament is based just off victory points. So it really is done to really encourage aggressive play. Let's go get them. Attack, attack, attack. Because even if you're getting your butt kicked, jump in there and try and kill one more unit, because you're going to be getting those points. Doesn't matter if you lost or not. So looking at this, I'm playing against this Wood Elf player. I have played against him once before. He plays Wood Elves very well. He's very sneaky with his movements. And in this one, he is going to have 2 units of Way Watchers. Now, unfortunately, my first deployment picture is absolutely crap. But basically, where you see that 1 Way Watcher, that was actually 9. So, they're Way Watchers. There's Way Watchers beside him. He has Wild Riders on the left, Archers in the left, 2 units of Dryads in the back. He has some skirmishing archers over there, another regular archers. He has a level 4. He has a Lord with the whole ignoring armor saves, doing 4 shots, all that stuff. A level 2, a Tree Man, and a whole bunch of Treekin. And so obviously with the Flame Banner, that was a perfect area for me to be fighting with my Black Orcs. Anyway, this first turn basically just moved up, and with my magic missiles, I was able to blast those Way Watchers down to 1 model, and he held. And otherwise, I know that what I need to do in this game is I just can't give him any way to get behind my lines. I just got to swarm him and then try and pick him off wherever I can, and just try and pin him into 1 corner. So then on his turn, he dances a little bit. He's trying to set up so that if I come into him, I'll have to hit these dryads. Shouldn't really get anywhere else. You can see his Way Watchers pulled back so that once I move up with my general, he can try and killing blow me. On the right, it just seems like he's being nice and aggressive with his treekin and his tree man, so that's great. And then with all of his shooting, he actually doesn't get very much done. He rolls fairly horribly, and I think he does a couple of wounds to my right giant. Actually, no, he does really well against my left giant. It's down to 1 wound now. And then he just takes a wound off my ancient stag. So then on my turn 2, my savages try to charge on the left, but they don't make it. My giant, I don't want to give up 200 victory points, so he's just booking it back into my own deployment zone here. I had tried to charge in my Stonehorn, but failed that charge. My one Night Goblin Shaman came over, tried blasting his big unit of the Way Watchers, but he dispelled it. Otherwise, I'm just moving up, and the biggest thing is on the right side. I'm trying to be careful because even though I know with the Flaming Banner I can destroy his trees pretty good, I don't want to take a dual charge. So I tried holding back a little bit, plus if nothing else, if they could be the anvil, and if I could try and route him into that one corner, I can try and trap him. Otherwise, my Wyvern is getting there, making trouble, so it goes in, kills 1 unit of archers, and then he's now just kind of facing the one left side to try and actually force those guys to be running into that corner in the first place, and then I can just charge whatever doesn't go for it. So his turn 2, on the left side, all that's happening is his archers are shooting at me and his wild riders are coming after my giant, and over here, he really surprised me that he decided to rush in. He had his dryads go after my general, and I don't know if he's just hoping to get an easy kill against me, but that should be an easy win for me. And then only his tree man made the charge into my Black Orcs. So yeah, I think it's going to be fun time with that Flaming Banner. And then what happened here is that he shot crazy into this guy, was able to kill the rider, but not the Wyvern, so that's great. But you can see that he did just what I wanted him to do, and that's everything moving into this one corner. So yeah, end of the turn, it looks like this. Of course, those dryads were just completely crushed. They're all gone. He got some wounds onto my shaman, so that was no good. I had taken a wound before, I think from a miscast or something, I don't know, but I'm starting to die there, and that's not a tough model. It's toughness 5, no armor. My rider only has a 6+ armor because he's mounted, so against a shooting army, he can die pretty easily. Otherwise, yeah, you can see on the far right, his tree man just dropped, I just took him down. So that's fantastic, and just really looking to follow up this advantage. So on my turn 3, the Stonehorn and the Wyvern charge in, destroy a unit of dryads and an archer unit, I think, and then they're just turning to be seeing everything here on the far side. My Black Orcs had charged his dryads, and unfortunately the way that it worked and the way that I had to contact is that I had to, even though I could pursue, I'd be bumping into the building, so I got stuck, but at least, I started beating them up. I think I killed 2 of them this time, so that's pretty nice. Otherwise, I'm just trying to pin him in more in that corner and finish him off. On the left side, I have Itchy Nuisance on his Wild Riders so that hopefully my giant can get away, and he stopped, I got off my big magic missile, so 3d6 strength 3 hits on his Way Watchers, and I killed 2. So very pathetic. My Savage Orcs failed their charge again. So just, it looks like everything's going my way. I just need to get in that killing blow to really make it solid. So all the shooting into my one poor little shaman here ends up in a dead shaman and an Abyssal Terror that's down to 1 wound. So now he has to go running too. And so end of his turn, it's looking like this. His Wild Riders do their best to try and chase me. Let's see, he did also some shooting into my BSB, did a wound to him, another one to the Stegodon. You can see that everything fled to the one corner except for his one Shooty Lord, which is the one that hurt my BSB. And yeah, his tree can rally. So my turn 4, finally my savages get on the left side. I know they had to hit one unit and then overrun into the other one. It looks like both are gone already. I don't know if it's just out of the picture or something, but you know, they're going to clear off this side and then have nothing to do. My giant keeps on running. My Abyssal Terror has fled down to the bottom left point of the screen. Otherwise, I have my Stegodon that's trying to watch his one single way watcher and his lore to try and keep it back. The Night Goblins are kind of happy sitting where they are because they're holding his objective, and plus if he tries breaking through the gap, I'll get him there. My Stone Horde had failed to charge, but I had gotten a charge with my Wyvern with no rider on his BSB, and yeah, this is going to turn out to be an epic battle. Now, I wasn't too hot about him breaking through where my Black Orcs are and killing my Black Orcs, just because that battle had not gone as well as I thought and I'd started to lose a few. So I threw them into the building actually, and also the trick I was hoping is with my Flaming Banner, I know you re-roll to wound inside buildings. So I was hoping to really surprise him with that, and otherwise my big Night Goblin Giant is standing there to not only hide from his archers, but also be ready to charge if anything tries to escape my trap. So my opponent's turn, he rolls really lucky. I think he needed like an 11 or something, but his Wild Riders come into the rear of my Giant, and I mean, like, this is going to be a joke. It's going to be so easy for him to kill me. Otherwise, at the end, it looks like this. His one Lord is now trying to be going after my Abyssal Terror, just hoping to get that 1/6 to wound to finish him off and get all those points, because otherwise he's getting nothing. The battle of the BSB versus the Wyvern goes on. His Treekin came into the building just like I wanted, and unfortunately he came up with the argument that his trees aren't actually in the building, or maybe I understood it wrong, but I didn't get the re-rolls. He had healed a few, but you know, now he's just down to 3, and otherwise he brought his archers and his mage down to try and shoot up the Giant, knowing that if they kill the Giant, they get away. So things not looking great. I thought by now my Wyvern would have been free and able to get out and charge stuff, but hopefully I just can start cleaning some things up now. So my turn 5, my Stonehorn fails another charge, which is just ridiculous. But one thing that was nice was that my Giant was able to charge one unit of archers that was there, survive to stand and shoot, kill them, and then unfortunately the way that was lined up, I just barely missed his level 4 behind. By the way, his level 2 had panicked and run off the board at this point. I'm still fighting his BSB, and otherwise, you know, I'm just holding my positions. Now in his turn 5, he now takes his Wild Riders into the rear of my Ancient Stegodon and BSB. Now, I think the reason why he was doing this is that A, he could be killing off my BSB, hoping to beat me, and if nothing else, one objective is right here that he needs to hold. He needs to hold one of mine and one of his. But I think this is a big mistake for him, because he's really not going to be able to compete with the Ancient Stegodon, and he's going to be taken down, I think, pretty bad. But we'll just have to see how this one plays out. And then down here, this damn Lord just can't get it done. He just keeps on shooting, pow, 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 pow. You know, I think he gets 5 shots every single time, and he just can't get that 6 to wound and finish my guy off. So, in the end, this is what it looks like. His one unit of archers is running away. He had charged into the building again with his Treekin. He's now down to 1. Those archers that actually moved away from the Stonehorn was able to kill my Giant, so not to worry about him coming out. You can see he got Dwellers on my Night Goblins, so a whole 55 of them died from that. And against the Ancient Stegodon, he had directed all of his attacks against my Stag and not the BSB, so I actually survived. I can't remember if I won or just barely lost this one. Either way, we're there, and I turned around to face him. So, really, obviously, nothing he should have really have done. And you can also see he has his one unit of the Way Watchers, which he's increased a little bit, that are just kind of chasing after my Stonehorn there. Just can't really seem to do anything except for pick off a wound or something here or there. So my turn, last turn, the Stonehorn charges through, destroys the last of the archers that were back there. He still hasn't killed my BSB, and I killed a couple more of his Way Watchers, and I'm pretty sure I won this combat this time, but he held. And yeah, just my Night Goblins moving over just to go and make sure that he's not going to be taking this other objective over here. And then his turn, last turn, he moves down his Way Watchers, hoping to regrow them up with his, level 4 there so that he can get 5 of them and be close enough to the objective to hold it. Of course, I shot that one down. You can see that also at some point, I can't remember which turn it was, but anyway, his BSB does eventually beat my Wyvern, so the epic battle was over. I just couldn't manage to somehow beat him. And otherwise, yeah, his Wild Riders are done. On the bottom left, his Lord failed to kill my guy again. And yeah, he didn't even bother charging into the building because there was no need. So that was the game. So looking it up and telling it at the end, I had one objective. I was holding one of his with my Savage Orcs. I did not have the one ride more in my own zone. He didn't meet either of his objectives, and when you added it up, it was a pretty big victory for me. You know, even though he had done lots of damage to me, like killing my BSB in the end and all this stuff, because you have to destroy the whole model, he actually didn't get anything at all. So he really only got points for the two generals and the two giants and the Wyvern, and then the points for killing a BSB. Not the points for the BSB himself, just for that banner. So yeah, you know, not too good for me. A little bit unfortunate for the Wood Elf player. You know, it must have been kind of annoying trying to fight all these beasts. But hey, you know, it was lots of fun to play, and had a lot of people stopping by to see all the crazy monsters. So hold on, because there's going to be 2 more games coming up.